everyone, some gamer dude here. Tony of Analog Toys fame recently released a video titled G.I. Joe Course Correcting the Classified Series, in which he gushes over Crockmaster, Spirit and Storm Shadow. Rightfully so too. They are some really nice figures, great faces, and truth be told, I want them too. I'm very selective on classified, I only buy must-haves, but Spirit and Storm Shadow are some of my favourite characters. I'm a Sunbow kind of guy, and I'm a sucker for an animal companion. That said, I reject Tony's premise that G.I. Joe Classified is course correcting. I think it's scrounging for an audience. Falling back on the people that bought A Real American Hero as a kid, I think it's a symptom of a brand on borrowed time. So let's go back to G.I. Joe Classified Wave 1. The toys that the fandom was up in arms about not looking like the 1980s original toys. Nerf guns as they've been dubbed, Energon Blue, and armor everywhere. A new interpretation of these characters. These designs were not classified original though, but came from a video game, Operation Blackout. Operation Blackout was just what the fandom have been wanting for years. A video game to reinvigorate the brand. Kids like games. Call of Duty was very popular. Seemed like a shoo-in since the FPS boom from around 2008 till what seemed like forever. If we're to use the popularity of Halo, Sonic, and Mario toys in recent years, this seems like a great idea. It's a slam dunk. 2 issues. Operation Blackout released much later than the classified toys, to the point where classified wasn't branded with Operation Blackout. No one at the time knew the true nature of these designs due to this. Secondly, this hiding of the true nature was likely the result of, by all accounts, Operation Blackout being a bad budget game with few redeeming features. Something that never would get anyone interested in or talking about the brand and will be forgotten. Just like the last G.I. Joe game, a tie-in to the first live-action film, Rise of Cobra. This was likely internally known at Hasbro too, and there was no budget to fix it. The thing is, while it was an abject failure, Hasbro was not only doing what everyone thought they should be doing, but probably the right thing short of webisodes. While I'm a big fan of Scott Nylick and his Spectre Creative channel, I think the fact that Halo toys are pretty prominently on the shelves and have been for a while now disproves his idea that toys from games don't sell. Halo being a much more gamey property than either Sonic, Mario, or Pokemon, which are much more multimedia franchises. If Operation Blackout had been good and appealed to kids, it could have driven sales. So why is any of this important, and why does it mean that G.I. Joe is failing with style? Because all products need new buyers. You can't keep it going with just the older audience that may die at any moment. It's a continually shrinking audience, and you need kids to come in en masse to help the brand not only have staying power but grow. Ultimately, kids are a more important audience than collectors or nostalgia buyers, as those kids, if you really capture them, will become the new collector audience and will discover the older versions of the property. Transformers is the best example of this. Never forget, Beast Wars kept the property alive and made it flourish. Armada was a massive hit and paved the way for your masterpieces, films, and what is now Transformers Generations. Even the films, they are important to a generation of kids and made a lot of collectors. Keeps the brand going. Appealing to kids opens the path to collector toys organically. G.I. Joe hasn't been so lucky. It never had its Beast Wars. It had Sergeant Savage, a 1-episode wonder, and G.I. Joe Extreme, an obscure, laughable entry with poor toys. It never had its Armada. It had Joe vs. Cobra, Spy Trips, and Valor vs. Venom. A line of toys hurt by poor toys in its first outing and a lack of a series. Spy Trips and Valor vs. Venom having a CGI movie each. Fun films, but doubtful they made much of an impact on kids. G.I. Joe never had its blockbuster film. It had Rise of Cobra, a film that has a myriad of problems, starting with costume direction and the director. Retaliation was better, but the damage had been done. Resolute on the Hub was the only successful G.I. Joe venture past the 1980s. In spite of the art style, it seemingly did better numbers than Transformers Prime, but was hurt by the art director dying and the toys not really working. Who wants a 6-foot tunnel rat when the character is meant to be the height of Rey Mysterio? Like He-Man, G.I. Joe desperately needs a hit with the kids in any medium. It didn't get it. It got another failure in Operation Blackout, yet another failure in Snake Eyes. Now the brand manager is appealing to the only people interested in the brand, increasingly geriatric, dying old fogies. Produce items while these groups generate any profit, keep the brand and trademarks alive for when the brand might get another push down the track, one that, if history is to go by, will be bungled and appeal to precisely no one. Maybe Hasbro putting all of the episodes of the original cartoon on YouTube will help push the lavishly a real American hero classified toys, but I don't see it working beyond parents, or maybe grandparents now, forcing it on their kids. Like what I liked. Don't be yourself. Live my childhood. That attitude is not going to endear kids to the brand. The fact of the matter is, G.I. Joe not even trying with children is a cry for help, not course correcting. These new toys are for people like Tony and myself. Of course we like them, but they shouldn't be. Not if G.I. Joe is to ever come back in a meaningful way. Till next time, friends, this has been Some Gamer Dude, and thanks for watching.